Hey everyone, thanks for returning. This video, or this series of videos I'm going to do, is over a game that I picked up at Gen Con, and I've been kind of going through it, learning the rules and stuff. But this is something I want to kind of break down and do section by section. And so how I'm going to do this is, on the bottom of the screen here, you're going to see what we're covering in this video. And so the game that we're going to be taking a look at is this big box game right here. And I say big box because it's kind of wide, but it's heavy. It's heavy. So it's Folklore, the Afflictioin. And so we're going to take a look at this. So I am going to do a review at the end of all these videos as I go through the rules and the components and character building and yada yada yada. Okay, and so let's take this on the table. So as we look at these components here, we're going to look at the lore tree, your hero sheet, and then when you get lore from an enemy. And so anytime you defeat an enemy or group of enemies, see on here it says lore 10, coins 2, and then on the skirmish it says coins 4. And so the way this works is that when you defeat a monster, that's how much everyone gets. So like everyone on a skirmish would get 4 coins. It's not divided. And then likewise, on a rabid wolf, the lore is 10. Everyone's going to get 10 lore and 2 coins. There's no if, else, or ands about it. That's what everyone's going to get, which is nice. And then you can use lore to cancel some effects, as I'm reading here in the rule book. You can use it to cancel bloodlust and lycanthropic. And so bloodlust, if I go back to the keyword section, bloodlust is a negative status which gives you +2 damage, -2 speech, -2 faith, and -3 max vita, or vita. Allies receive 1 negative to speech due to your foul presence. See Bloodlust on page 21 for more details. Resist with the faith skill trait, or skill bonus. So if we go back to page 21 in the book real quick, it says that if a character becomes affected by bloodlust, they receive the modifications shown in the status table. In addition, they receive an extra attack during encounters, claws, 1d4 damage plus damage bonus. When killed, they become a vampire instead of a ghost. If this occurs while adventuring, replace their creature with a vampire miniature. If all are in use, just keep the character's mini. If on the world map or during the story narrative, use the open road map and place all characters and the new vampire in the center. The group must fight them to the death in encounter combat. Once the bloodlust character is killed, they immediately go to limbo. A character who is affected by bloodlust is immune to the lycanthropic status while they have bloodlust, and vice versa. And then the lycanthropic in the keyword section says a negative status, 1 damage plus 1 stride, receive half of coin awards. See lycanthropy on page 21 for more details. Resist with the occult skill bonus. Going back to page 21, if a character becomes cursed with lycanthropy, they receive the modification shown in the status table. In addition, they receive an extra attack during encounters. Bite is a 1d4 damage plus damage bonus. When a moon icon appears, usually during road event cards, roll a d10 on a 1 through 9. They must immediately skirmish with the group with a skirmish counter of 1. See Characters versus Character Skirmish on page 19 for more detail. On 0, become a werewolf and skirmish to the death. Once they are killed, follow the rules for single character death, and they continue playing as a ghost character. So going back one page to page 19, Character versus Character Skirmish. There are occasions when the group is forced to skirmish with one of their allies, such as when under the influence of lycanthropy. This process for this is very similar to regular skirmish combat, with the following exceptions. The character being forced to skirmish fills the role of a creature, the afflicted. The remaining characters must decide who will attack the afflicted and who will defend simultaneously using their character skirmish token. There is no time to debate in the midst of a fight. By default, the Afflicted has a skirmish strength of 1. There are no modifiers. Unless instructed otherwise, every successful hit against the Afflicted character causes 1 damage, as it is assumed that the group is attempting their attacks to be non-lethal. The Afflicted will use their primary equipped weapon when attacking the group. All characters are targeted. For lycanthropic characters, they will not use weapons but claws, which cause 1d4 damage plus any damage modifiers and damage bonus. Creatures will not attack when you are afflicted, nor vice versa. There is no reward for this type of skirmish. There may be cases where multiple party members are afflicted. In this case, normal characters can choose whom to attack during the skirmish round. Every afflicted character has to attack everyone in the group, including those who are also afflicted. When a afflicted character counter reaches 0, and there are still other afflicted characters skirmishing, that character will join the group against the remaining afflicted. For example, when you have a 4-character group, the Avenging Madman and the Arcanist are lycanthropic. Somebody draws a Night Road event card that displays a moon icon. The Madman Arcanist must skirmish against the other 2 characters, the Telepath and Exorcist. Just as in a normal skirmish, the lycanthropic characters attack first, using their now razor-sharp claws. The Madman misses, but the Arcanist successfully hits and causes 6 damage. Roll a 3 on a d4, but adds 1 damage due to lycanthropic and her plus 2 damage bonus. To the Exorcist, Telepath, and the Madman. The Madman's skirmish counter drops to 0, so he can help attack the Arcanist with his allies. They must decide to attack, and all successfully hit with reduces the Arcanist's skirmish counter set to 1, well below 0, and causes 3 damage, 1 for each hit. The skirmish then ends. If all characters are somehow afflicted and are forced to skirmish, the same process occurs. It's everyone for themselves, dying during a skirmish. So if a character dies during a skirmish, they can no longer participate even in ghost form. So when in a skirmish, you cannot participate as a ghost. And to kind of clear things up here, it sounds like if characters have to fight another character that's turned into a werewolf, that's just easier way of saying it, it's a lycanthropic, a werewolf, it sounds like all they have to do is hit them 1 time to get their strength counter down to 0, and then they turn back and are able to help the group again. At least that's how it kind of sounded. You can comment down below if I misread something. Okay? And then we're going to look at leveling up now. Alright, so the lore tree. There are several ways to make characters unique and more powerful as they progress through stories. Each character should note their growth and choices in their respective character record sheet. Okay, lore. When you reach the total number of lore shown on the left, the tier is unlocked. So if we go to this character here, and obviously I showed this before in other videos, but there's the lore levels here. Let me back up some. Alright, so here are the lore levels. You have 100, 200, 350, 5, 650, 8, 950, 1100, 1250, 1400, 1550, 1700. Okay, then you have choice 1, choice 2. And the book says, on page 8, that ability points, yes, sometimes they unlock ability points. So like right here at 350, at 350 here you get a +1, at 200 you get a +1, at 500 you get a +1, and so forth. And then it says, choice 1, choice 2, you will have to choose which lore reward you receive when you reach the appropriate tier. Some choices are dedicated by which character focus you choose. You must immediately choose a capability. Note that the choice of the lore reward when you reach a tier. It is possible to lose lore or sacrifice it to cure supernatural elements, like we just talked about. Sacrificing lore to get rid of lycanthropic and then the bloodlust. If your
total lore decreases beyond a previous lore tier, you lose the associated benefits until you regain enough to reach that tier again. Ability points are not lost if this occurs. And so, here, if you look at the keywords here. So like here, you can choose this or this. And then down here, you see Bounty Hunter, Inquisitor, Inquisitor. And so then you'd have to choose one of those. Okay? And then down here again, you have Bounty Hunter, Inquisitor. And so they do have choices specific for the focus that you chose. And then as I'm looking at this, I'm assuming that you would choose either one side or the other side. That's the easiest way to look at it. So you're either going to choose choice 1 for the Bounty Hunter, or choice 2 for the Bounty Hunter, or choice 1 for the Inquisitor, or choice 2 for the Inquisitor. And like so forth down here. And so forth down here. And here again. And so let's say I get 200 lore. At the 100 tier, I can get the +1 to any skill, or +2 max vita. Okay, so let's say I get the +2 max vita, and then on the 200, I get the AP point. Then I can get a +1 damage to a cultist, or 1 absorption, 1 versus a cultist, which would be those would help for skill checks, I do believe. And then if I get 350, again I get a choice. So, and that's leveling up. It's easy, it's simple. Lore points can be used again to get rid of bloodlust and lycanthropic, and obviously gaining your skill tree here. Alright, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, I got more videos to come. We're almost to the end of all of our videos, and then I'm going to do a playthrough, and so stay tuned.